The Rams were celebrating a Super Bowl championship. Matthew Stafford throwing to Cooper Kupp. Kupp, Super Bowl MVP, but he says he's going to be traded. And Matthew Stafford and his wife, they've shown their displeasure that might happen. Stafford, 2 years left on his contract, but just $4 million guaranteed. So the Rams might have to find a way to get him more guaranteed money or consider trading him. And that's kind of the basis of an article that we can find right now at CBSSports.com for the best landing spots for Stafford if the Rams decide to move him. The Steelers at the top, followed by the Giants. You have the Raiders, the Vikings as well, and the Titans, who have the top pick in the draft. Or you see the footnote at the bottom, remain with the Rams. A trade that's more likely to happen involves one of the best defensive players in the league. That's MYLES GARRETT, requesting out of Cleveland before he turns 30 next season. Our Bryant McFadden sat down with another all-pro defender who would like to see Garrett and him in the same uniform.
Like, I like to see him in Dallas, but like, I don't know if we got the money for him.
So no. Hold on, wait a minute now. Because I know you ready to get paid. I know that. Would you consider maybe taking just a little tad less if you knew you would be playing opposite of MYLES GARRETT?
Oh, 100%.
Good team player.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like meet at the quarterback.
Yeah, will he take less too?
Oh, and that's the key. That's the key, because both will have to kind of, take less to make it happen. So, Jerry, you should throw that out to Jerry. I know you talked to Jerry.
Nah, we would definitely have to make that happen.
That was Micah Parsons, by the way, of the Dallas Cowboys. We have Emery Hunt joining us along with Tyler Sullivan. Tyler, from just a reporting standpoint, we want to deal in the truth here. Is this at all feasible that the Cowboys could be in the running to trade for MYLES GARRETT?
Well, I mean, if you have some of your best players saying I'm willing to take a pay cut to bring them aboard, then sure, why not? I mean, that would be absolutely unbelievable, right? We did just see a Super Bowl where you have Patrick Mahomes, arguably the best quarterback in the NFL, getting engulfed by an unbelievable front in the Philadelphia Eagles. So if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you're looking at that team in your division saying, that's how we can win a Super Bowl? You put Micah Parsons and MYLES GARRETT together? Woo! I would not want to be Jalen Hurts or any Giants quarterback that they bring in or any other quarterback going up against the Dallas Cowboys in 2025.
Micah Parsons got on the Columbia broadcast system and told a free lie to B-Mac and everybody that was listening. Ain't no way he's taking less money. There's no way he's taking less money. And MYLES GARRETT ain't taking less money. It sounds good for the sound clip and great camaraderie and great leadership. But, man, he's not taking no less money. And B-Mac, though, that's why he set him up like that.
That's exactly what Haley was saying.
There's no way that man is taking less money.
Well, Tyler did give us 3 other trade scenarios for MYLES GARRETT at CBSSports.com, none of them involving the Cowboys. But let's play a little who says no to some hypothetical trades. I'm going to tee up Tyler, and he's going to give us some teams. I think you can see a few in the background there, a few logos. And then Emery is going to tell us who, if either side, should say no to that. And let's start with the first trade option to the Lions. Tyler, what's the proposal?
Yeah, it's the first rounder this season and the first rounder next season. And that's kind of been the baseline that we've been led to believe is going to be the price tag for MYLES GARRETT. There's been 2 first-round picks. It's kind of been the talk. Maybe it's a little bit more. Maybe it's a little bit less. We'll kind of go through a few different scenarios where it's not necessarily just 2 first-round picks. But if you're the Detroit Lions, you've been pretty meticulous and conservative with your draft picks over the last few years, and you've done it well, bring in a ton of talent. But now is the time. You were the #1 seed in the NFC this year. You were 1 and done in the postseason. Now is the time that you have all of these draft picks collected and all of these stars on your roster. Now is the time to push the chips into the middle and bring in a guy like MYLES GARRETT. We were just talking about Micah Parsons and MYLES GARRETT. What about Aiden Hutchinson and MYLES GARRETT? That to me would be really just an unbelievable pairing. But again, 2 first-round picks, this one and then 1 in 2026.
Who says no to that, Emery?
I actually think the Lions could agree to this one. It all depends on whether or not they offer this up first, because you want to kind of negotiate, but 2 first-round picks. And the reason why I say the Lions or the Browns would agree to this one is because if you're in Detroit, you trust that you can make these picks on the back end of the draft like the Rams did, which is why they were freely giving up these first-round picks for known commodities. So because Brad Holmes has done a fantastic job in rounds 2 through 7, even in the undrafted rookie free agent market, I can trust them to be without first-round picks. So I actually agree with this trade.
All right, let's move to the team that, stunned a lot of people in Detroit last month, the Washington Commanders. What could they send for a trade for MYLES GARRETT?
Yeah, a little bit similar. Again, it involves 2 first-round picks, the 2025 first-round pick, which is 29 overall. You look at the first-round pick in 2026, but let's just say there turns into a bidding war. You got to throw in a little bit more. If the Cleveland Browns want a little bit more along their defensive line to help replace MYLES GARRETT, you throw in Daron Payne to kind of sweeten the pot there for the Cleveland Browns. And if you're the Washington Commanders, as you just were referencing, they surprised a lot of people. And it's surprising to say that they're in a Super Bowl window, but it's hard to say they're not when they were just in the NFC Championship, making a bid to go to a Super Bowl. When you have a player like Jaden Daniels, and as special as he was during his rookie season, you feel like you're going to be in it for the foreseeable future. You add MYLES GARRETT to this defense that was 14th in the NFL in pressure rate in 2024. You're talking about top 10, possibly top 5 in pressure rate in 2025. You pair those two things together, a great pass rush and an elite quarterback in Jaden Daniels, the Washington Commanders could be really scary in that NFC East, even with the Super Bowl champs.
Emery, a very similar package that Tyler had for the Detroit Lions, but they would also get Daron Payne as well. Who says no to this?
Washington says no, and the reason why, you got a young quarterback. You want to continue to stockpile weapons. This team is not as close, in my opinion, as Detroit is. So to do without a second first-round pick and a solid player in Daron Payne, I think that may be a bridge too far to cross for Washington. So I would say Washington says no here. And maybe it's a first-round pick and a player, but 2 first-round picks plus a player, I would say no.
Yeah, we're hearing 2 first-round picks would be the minimum, but there's a little difference here on Tyler's proposal for the Patriots, and that's because one of the picks is so high this season. Tyler, what is it?
Yeah, exactly. They're shipping away that number 4 overall pick to help acquire MYLES GARRETT. You're obviously throwing in a 2026 second-round pick, so there's multiple picks going out the door, but we're kind of coming down a little bit from that 2 first-rounder threshold because we're talking about a top 5 selection, number 4 overall this year. So if you're Cleveland, you're looking at this and saying, we might have an opportunity to kind of pull off what the Houston Texans did a few years ago, possibly bringing in a quarterback and a pass rusher like C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson. If somehow they can bring in Cam Ward and Abdul Carter, that could be really attractive for them as they hit this reset in their organization. If you're the New England Patriots, you might not feel like you're that far away. You have the most amount of cap space in the NFL this season. You've already acquired your franchise quarterback in Drake May. You add a piece like MYLES GARRETT to a defense that has Christian Gonzalez in the secondary, you're starting to cook a little bit with Mike Vrabel as the head coach.
Only 1 first-round pick, Emery, but it's the number 4 overall pick this year. Who says no to this?
Patriots, because here's the thing. I love how athletic MYLES GARRETT is, but he can't go out there and play wide receiver or tight end. So they need some help for Drake May. And if you're Cleveland, if New England says yes to this, man, you run and call the league and send this one in because he's right. You can nail 2 top 5 picks within this draft class and get your team going in the right direction. But New England giving up the 4th overall pick with a chance to take Travis Hunter might be a little bit too much for me.
Jonathan Jones saying that we shouldn't expect anything to happen here until free agency starts, maybe even the start of the NFL draft as well, as MYLES GARRETT looks to get shipped out.